Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com. Today we're going to be learning Strumming Etude number 2. And the whole goal with this song was to introduce you guys to some chords that kind of break you out of that basic rut, right? Those basic chords that we all play. We've done it 100 times with our strumming songs. We kind of want to get out of that and give you guys some chords that are a little bit more challenging and that sound a lot more unique. So I think we really hit that on the head with this tune. So what we're going to be learning in this lesson is going to be the entire song. So we broke it into 3 sections. There's melody A, melody B, and melody C. Each melody is 4 bars in length. So we're going to be covering everything in this lesson. This is part of our new series, our beginner lesson series at rockclass101.com. So be sure to go ahead and click on ukulele songs when you go to the site, and you can see our beginner series there. And then you can click on courses, and we've got an entire beginner level course that takes you from the complete start, how to hold the uke, how to tune it, all the way to playing your first songs. If you guys want to get the tabs to print off and follow along with, that's going to be at rockclass101.com. You can also get access to the on-screen tab viewer, which you can literally hit play and watch the tab scroll across. It's a really cool asset, especially for these beginner songs, because you can literally highlight bars and loop it. You can highlight like a couple bars, and it just loops it. You can slow it down to that speed, and you can just practice the changes. So it's a great asset for learning this tune that much quicker. So all of that is going to be at rockclass101.com. All right, so let's go ahead and kick into this lesson. We're going to start with melody A. So here is what it sounds like. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to give you guys a couple ways to finger these chords too. So let's start with the way that I just played and the way that Angelo played on the performance. So the first chord is basically, it's a D chord. If we think of our basic D chord, let's go ahead and just break that down really quick. Our basic D is 2, 2, 2, 0. So that means we have index on 2 on string 4, middle finger's underneath it, so that's 2 on string 3, and your ring finger's underneath that, 2 on string 2, and our first string's open. So the difference that we're going to do is we're going to lift that ring finger up, and I want you guys to drop these 2 fingers down. So that's going to be our first finger now on the 2nd fret of string 3, and our middle finger on the 2nd fret of string 2. That means that we have open 4 and open 1. So I've got open, 2, 2, open. So it's just a little variation on a D, but the variation gives us a cool coloring or a cool sound to the chord. So go ahead and just strum that, get used to that. Okay, so the rhythm for what we're playing throughout the whole song is the same. So let's go ahead and just learn that rhythm real quick for our right hand. So here's what it sounds like, then we'll break it down. Okay, now if I was to count out this rhythm, we have 4 beats per measure, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And all this rhythm is doing is it's using quarter notes and eighth notes. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So think of it like this. Think of it as a beat in your head. Ba, 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 right? You can hear the first 2 last long, right? Ba, ba, right? And then the last 3 hits, ba, 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 are quick. Those are your eighth notes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it's 5 strums per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And if I looped it, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So you can think of it as the numbers, or you can think of it as the beat. Ba, 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 ba. Right? So think of it either way, whichever makes the most sense. So if I make that chord again, all I'm going to go do for my right hand is down, down, up, down, up. So again, it's 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up. Okay, and when I strum down, I'm going to use the nails of my fingers. So you could use like 1 and 2, or 1, 2, and 3, or 2 and 3. It really doesn't matter. You just want to go down, and then when you come up, try and use your thumb, right? So I'm going down, down with my nails, right? Down, down with these 3. And then when I come up, I'm using my thumb. Up, down, up. So I have down, down, up, down, up. And again, down, down, up, down, up. Now if we put in time, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now the whole song is that, right? So one other way to practice this stuff too is you don't even have to make a chord, right? You can just practice. Right, you can just strum opens just to kind of get your right hand moving, right? So your right hand needs to always be kind of relaxed like that. It should have no tension. There should be, you shouldn't be tight. You shouldn't be like holding a hammer, right? This should never be tight and tense. So it would always be kind of like that. It's just nice, relaxed, loose. So that's the trick with strumming. Especially when you go faster, right? When you play at a faster speed, you really want to be nice and relaxed with your right hand and your wrist. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our next chord. So the second chord in this song is going to be a variation on an A7. And basically all we're going to do from the first chord, so if we've got the fingering of the first chord, we're just going to move it up a whole step. So that means that we're going to go up 1, 2 frets. So again, all I'm doing is taking first and second finger and moving it up 2 frets. So now I'm on open, 4, 4, open. Now here's the change to make this second chord, this A7. What we're going to do is we're going to take this middle finger, move it up a half step, so that means it goes from 4 to 5, and then take your ring finger and put it underneath it, so it's going to be on 5 on string 1. So now I've got open, 4, 5, 5, and I'm using index, middle, ring. So I've got a really cool sounding chord right here. A little bit challenging though. Okay, so one way to practice new chords and to get the transition to sound smoother is to forget about the rhythm of the song and literally just play the first chord to the second chord. But try and put it in a timing, right? So think of it as like maybe a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then loop it, right? And once you get clean sounding, sounds good right here, try and boost up the tempo. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Right? So you can continually challenge yourself to get faster and get those changes down quicker. And what we call that is muscle memory, right? So it's basically knowing how to put your fingers on the fretboard, how hard to push down, that kind of stuff to make it sound clean. And so we don't have to like consciously think about it. Okay, so this chord again, 0, 4, 5, 5. All right, and let's talk about an alternative way to play this. Now, if you want a greater challenge, and this is actually how I would prefer to play it, is to do a partial bar. Okay, this is going to be challenging. So let's go ahead and break it down a little bit. So I'm just going to take that index, leave it on the 4th fret of string 3, and then the hard part here is that my ring finger lays flat. You can see that curve right there at that knuckle. So this one lays flat on 5 for strings 1 and 2. But you also see my first finger is no longer like a fingertip with that curve. It's not like a regular note, right? It's kind of coming down. It's not a bar chord, but it's coming down. Now this is a lot more of an advanced way to play the song, but it's something to keep in mind as you move forward, because as you get progressively better on the uke, you want to start incorporating these bar chords, these partial bar chords. So it's something to keep in mind because it'll be coming up in the future pretty soon. Okay, so let's go ahead and break it down. We're going to play with the 3-finger approach because it's a lot easier for right now. So I'm going to play the first to the second bar. Okay, and remember the rhythm's the same for everything. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, without me calling. Okay, from here, our third chord, and it's going to be our final chord for the A melody, is basically we're going to move this shape down to the 3rd fret. So everything is on the 3rd fret now. So that means our first finger's on 3 on string 3, our middle finger's on 3 on string 2, and our ring finger's on 3 on string 1, and our G string, the 4th string, will be open. So this is just a C minor chord. So we're going to hang on this one for 2 bars. So that means twice, right? First time, down, down, up, second time, down, down, up. So now if I put the entire song together, I've got for the first chord, which was a variation on D, then we go to A7, and then C minor, 2 times. Okay, and without me stopping, so all the way complete, A melody. Okay, and let's talk about one variation to play for that C minor too. You could do a partial bar chord for this one. You take that first finger and just lay it flat on the 3rd fret, strings 1, 2, and 3. Remember the 4th string is open. A great way for beginners too is to use that middle finger to kind of help push this down. Kind of gives you more strength, but eventually you want to break away from it. You want to build up finger strength so you don't need, like, think of it as like a crutch, right? You don't need that eventually, because eventually you're going to be doing other chords where you need more fingers with the bar chord too. So this one is all about proper form, and I actually wrote an entire article on proper form, which is in the beginner course, but it's also in our freebies lessons, or our free lessons. So if you just go to the site and click free lessons, you can find proper left-hand form. There's an entire 30-minute video that talks about it too, and it highlights how to make these chords, especially these bar chords, which are a bit harder. So go ahead and check that article, and I'll link it up there too for you, and in the description box below. Alright guys, that's the entire A melody, so let's go ahead and move on to our B melody. So here's what the B sounds like. Okay, so let's go ahead and break down these chords. They're not too hard. The first one's an E minor, which is that staircase shape that we probably have played by now. So it's going to be open 4, ring is on 4 on string 3, middle is on 3 on string 2, index is on 2 on string 1. Okay, our second chord that we're going to go to, all we're going to do is we're going to lift that middle finger up, put it on 3 on string 3, and then move that ring finger to where the middle finger was. So that means you're going to put it on the 3rd fret of string 2. So this second chord, I've got open 4, 3, 3, 2, and that's middle, ring, index. So this one right here is a minor major chord. So it's got a bit of an eerie sound to it. So practice the change, E minor to the minor major 7. So again. Okay, our next chord is just G. So the easy way to change it is all we're going to do is we're going to basically lift that index finger up, put it on the 2nd fret of string 3, drop the middle finger down to the 2nd fret of string 1, which is where that first finger was. Okay, so you can practice that change too. Now the goal of these changes is try to make both fingers move at the same time. So you don't want to go ba, ba. You want to go together, right? Together. So same with this, together. So from E minor, minor major 7. We don't want to go da, da. We want to go together, together. Okay, so we have E minor major 7 to G, and then all we're going to do for the last one is move that first finger down a half step, so it goes to 1 on string 3. Okay, so again, now we've got move half step, right? So it's 0, 1, 3, 2. Okay? And our last one is just another variation on E minor. So again, all four, we have E minor major 7, to regular G, and then move that finger down. We have another variation on E minor. Okay, so you can hear it's using a technique called voice leading, where the melody just keeps moving down by 1 as we switch chords. It just makes it sound prettier. So it's a really cool technique. Okay? So let's go ahead and play the rhythm though. So remember, same rhythm throughout. Down, down, up, switch the chord. Down, down, up, switch the chord. Down, down, up, switch the chord. Down, down, up. Now without me calling. Okay, and one suggestion too. Especially when you play faster, it's going to be a little bit harder. So you could cut the rhythm on the first one. You could go down, down, up, down, 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 up, down for those ones, because those ones are a little bit of a trickier. So I was going down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, and then I can go back to the regular rhythm. So it just gives you a way to play a little bit simpler. So something to kind of keep in mind. You guys can always throw variations on stuff too. You know, if you can take these chords, come up with your own rhythm too, as a creative and challenging way to kind of push yourself to play something different too. So keep that in mind as well. All right, let's move on to our final melody, which is C. So our C melody is basically 2 chords, one different, and then we're going back to our C minor chord. So we left off right here. All we're going to do is we're going to lift our index and our middle finger up, and we've got that next chord, which is an A minor 7. So all this chord is, it's open 4, open 3, ring fingers on 3 on string 2, and open 1. We're going to hang on this for 2 bars. And then from here, we're just going to drop that ring finger down and then add the other 2 fingers above it. We have C minor. Right, and C minor was the same chord we learned in the A melody. And then from here, we're going to G. And that completes it. So that G is going to be the last bar of the tune. So let's go ahead and play C melody all the way throughout. Okay, so 2 bars of A minor 7, 2 bars of C minor, and end on the G. Alright guys, so that is our entire song. So we covered melody A, B, and C. And something to keep in mind too is that, you know, this song has some repetition, right? Like melody A was 4 times, melody B was, I believe, once, melody C was once. But it's up to you guys if you want to do all those repetitions and repeats. You know, play it how you hear it, play it how you want, make it as long as you want or as short as you want. It's up to you guys. If you want to get the tabs to print out with and follow along, you can get it as a PDF format. You can also get it as the on-screen tab viewer, which you can hit play with, which is awesome because you can highlight bars and loop it. You could literally just highlight and loop that over and over again. So it's a great way to slow it down and practice things to build it up to speed. So all that's at rockclass101.com. Just look for Strumming Etude number 2. Also, be sure to check out the other songs we've got for the beginner series under the Ukulele Songs tab. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks.